Hi students. So in today's class I would like to explain the topic in digital communication networking. So the topic is congestion control. So before going to different type of congestion controls, so we have to know what is a congestion. So congestion may occur if the load on the network if the load on the network is greater than capacity of a metro. It occurs due to queues in routers and switching devices. So basically the congestion is nothing but, congestion may occur if the load on the network, so if we are transmitting the information from sender to receiver or transmitter to receiver. So in this case at the receiver side, so the load at the receiver side, so that may be whatever we are transmitting the information, so that will be uses a guided media or unguided media. So if that load is on the network is greater than the capacity of that carrying network capability, so it occurs due to the queues in routers and the switching devices. So we have to use different routers and the switching devices in between the transmitter to receiver. So due to the so previously whatever we transmitted that information or previous data storing techniques, so due to that the queues already formed in a network. So due to that queues, so in routers and switching devices the congestion may occur in the network. So that may be controlled, that congestion may controlled. So that congestion control refers to the mechanisms and techniques used to control congestion and keep the traffic below the capacity of the network. So we have the maximum capacity of that network, so we have to keep that what is the maximum capacity of a network, so we have to keep as much as less than the traffic, so we didn't overcome that maximum capacity. So we have to follow that capacity of the network, and we have to deliver the information from the sender to receiver. So that is the main, we have to control by using that technique. We have to control the congestion in any network. So the congestion control refers the mechanism and techniques used to control congestion and keep the traffic below the capacity of the network. So the congestion control techniques can be broadly classified to categories. That is, one is the open loop and another one is the closed loop. So mainly it is the mechanism and technique that can either prevent congestion before it happens or remove the congestion after it happen. So even though the congestion will be happen, so that will be controlled by the congestion control, or before itself we can control the congestion. So that is very good for to transmit the information from the transmitter to receiver. So here the closed loop means, so the congestion control techniques can be broadly classified into two broad categories. Those are nothing but open loop and the closed loop. So open loop is nothing but, it in open loop it prevents the congestion before it happens. So whatever so we are transmitting the information from one end to another end, so that in case open loop congestion control, that will checks the network capacity, and before if the congestion will be happening in that network, so before that congestion control may occur in open loop category. And what is meant by closed loop means, so already when we are using the closed loop network to transmit the information from transmitter to receiver, so that will removes, already the congestion may happened, so happened in the network, but so we are using the closed loop, so that will removes the congestion after it happened. So that is the meaning of open loop and the closed loop congestion control in the network categories. In network categories. So the open loop may follow different policies. Those are nothing but retransmission policy, window policy, and the acknowledgement policy, and the discarding policy, and another one is admission policy. So in the same way, the closed loop also follow different type of policies. Those are nothing but one is the back pressure and the choke packet, and implicit signaling and explicit signaling. So these are different techniques or methods that will be used in closed loop and the open loop. And also, so this open loop protocol, it uses some of the protocols to prevent or avoid congestion, so ensuring that the system or network under consideration so never enters a congested state. So if we are using a open loop, so it does not or never enters a congested state. So in case of the closed loop, so in this also we have protocols so that allow system to enter congested state, so that will be detected and remove it in closed loop state. So some of the factors that causes the congestion in a network, so those are the factors are packet arrival rate exceeds the outgoing link capacity. So when the congestion occurs means so the packet arrival rate, so whatever we are sending the packet from sender to receiver, so that rate at the receiver side exceeds the outgoing link capacity, then the congestion may occur. So next factor is if the device may have insufficient memory to store arriving packets. So if the device doesn't have a sufficient memory within that device, so at that condition also the congestion may occur. And the next factor is the bursty traffic. So next factor of congestion may occur due to the slow processor. So based on these factors, the congestion may occur. The congestions may occur. So now we will see so the various methods used for open loop congestion control, and the various methods used for closed loop congestion control techniques. So here in the open loop means, so in this case, that retransmission, what is a retransmission policy means, so in this policy the packet can be retransmitted if the packet is lost or corrupted. So it name itself indicating that retransmission policy. So whatever wherever the congestion may occur, so if that due to the congestion the packet may lost or corrupted, so in this case the packet can be retransmitted in retransmission policy. And the next one, Indo policy. So in this method it uses selective reject window to do for congestion control. So in this window policy we will do some selective reject window. So due to that, based on that window, so we have to we control the congestion. So next one, acknowledgement policy. So in this technique the receiver device sends a proper acknowledgement to the sender and sender device, so after a successive packet received by the receiver. So whenever we have the sender and the receiver devices, so in case we successfully the packet received at the end of the receiver, so from the receiver the sender receives acknowledgement. So due to that we avoid the congestion in a network. So next one, discard policy. So in this method the router discards the less sensitive packets when conjunction is likely to happen. So if but whatever the router or switching devices present in between the transmitter and receiver, so the router discards the less sensitive packets when conjunction is likely to happen. So wherever the packet doesn't have a sufficient efficient one, so that will be discarded at the router itself. So we can we can control the congestion in case of when we are using discard policy. So next one, admission policy. So in this method the entire network maintains a quality of the quality service mechanism to transmit the information from sender to receiver. So the entire network maintains a quality service mechanism to transmit the information from sender to receiver. So these are the some of the techniques or policies used in a open loop congestion control, used in open loop congestion control. So next one, closed loop congestion control. So in this closed loop congestion control mechanism try to remove the congestion after it happens. So the various methods used for closed loop congestion control are, so first one is back pressure. So this back pressure is a node to node congestion control that starts with a node and propagates in the opposite direction of data flow. So in this method of congestion control, so in this method it has different nodes may present from the sender to receiver section. If at a specific node of congestion may occur, from that specific node the amount of pressure is sent back to the sender device. So the sender device controls the speed of the sending packets. So by using the back pressure, so wherever the congestion may occur, so from that router or the device, so the amount of the pressure will be sent to the sender. So based on the amount of the pressure, so that will control the speed of the packets, whatever that sending to the receiver. So based on that technique, so we have to control or remove the congestion whatever happen in the network. So in this method of congestion control, so the congestion node stops receiving data from the immediate upstream node or nodes. So this may cause the upstream node or nodes to become congested, and they in turn reject data from their upstream node or nodes. So based on whatever we see in the diagram, so is a congested and it stops receiving packets and informs its upstream node to slow down. Node 2 in turns may be congested and informs node 1 to slow down. So now node 1 may create congestion and informs the source node to slow down. So in this way the congestion is elevated, so our congestion may eliminated. So the pressure on node 3 is moved backward to the source to remove the congestion. So by using this technique, so that means back pressure, so we have to control the congestion in closed loop technique. So next one, choke packet. So by using the choke packet technique also, so we have to control the congestion. So in this method of congestion control, so congestion router or node sends a special type of packet called choke packet to the source to inform it about the congestion. So here congestion node does not inform its upstream node about the congestion as in back pressure method. So in choke packet method, so the congestion node sends a warning directly to the source station. So directly wherever the congestion is occurred, from that point to source station, so there will be a congestion occurred. So please control your speed of operation, so that will inform it to the source station in a choke packet. So by using that choke packet will generated from the router. So by using this technique we will control that congestion in choke packet method. So next one is implicit signaling method. So in this method, so the source device guesses there is a congestion in a network when it does not receive any acknowledgement from the receiver. So due to this, the source will slow down the sending packets. So next one is explicit signaling. So in this method, the node devices sending direct signal to source or destination in a forward or backward direction. So due to this, we can control the congestion in a network. So these are the different techniques will be used in open loop and the closed loop techniques. So the main factors that causes congestion is so that maybe packet arrival rate exceeds the outgoing link capacity. So due to that reason, that network may cause congestion. And the next one, insufficient memory to store arriving packets. So based on that reason also, that network may suffer with congestion. And the next one is bursty traffic, and due to the slow processor also we got a congestion in a network. So to overcome these congestion, so we have to use different type of congestion control algorithms. So in that, one of the best controlling algorithm is leaky bucket algorithm. So leaky bucket algorithm. So in the leaky bucket algorithm used to control rate in a network. So it is implemented as a single server queue with constant service time. So if the bucket or if the buffer overflows, then packets are discarded. So simply the packets are discarded. So here we have a leaky bucket algorithm diagram. So in this we will see how basically how we have for example we can assume a bucket with full of water. So if you simply place a hole to a bucket, so due to that the over that water, that whatever the inflow of water may full, so the due to that hole, the bucket will not be fulfilled. The bucket will not fulfill with a full of water. So because the water will be leaky due to with the help of that hole. So due to that same thing will be applied in a leaky bucket algorithm. So in this leaky bucket algorithm, so we have consider a bucket with a small hole at the bottom. So whatever may be the rate of water pouring into the bucket, the rate at which water comes out from that small hole is constant. So this scenario is uh, explained in this diagram. So once the bucket is full, any additional water entering it splits over the sides and it is lost. The same idea of leaky bucket can be applied to packets. So as shown in figure, as a leaky bucket with leaky bucket with packets. So the in this network interface contains a leaky bucket, and it will following steps will so perform in this situation. Those are nothing but when the host has to send a packet, so the packet is thrown into the bucket. So the bucket leaks at a constant rate. So it meaning is the network interface transmits packets at a constant rate. So the bursty traffic is converted into a uniform traffic by the leaky bucket. So here we have a host mission and unregulated flow. So and within this we have the interface containing a leaky bucket and the regulated flow. So wherever the unregulated flow will be converted into a regulated flow. So in practice, the bucket is a finite queue that outputs at a finite rate. So whenever a packet arrives, if there is a room in the queue, so it is queued up, and if there is no room, then the packet is discarded. So if there will be, so we have a constant flow or a regulated flow, then the packet will be received with a constant rate by the receiver. So if there is no any problem will be occurred, then the packet will be discarded. So by using this algorithm also we can control the congestion control. We can control the congestion control. So the congestion control is nothing but so simply, so whatever the congestion may occur if the load on the network is greater than the capacity of that network, it occurs due to queues in routers and switching device. So to overcome that congestion, so we have to use different types of open loop techniques and the closed loop techniques and the leaky bucket algorithm. So these are the topics covered in this video. So we'll continue another topics in next video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe DBS Talks. Thank you one and all.